making the mystery present, God calls me together with other people. And it talks about how God calls us to be like a community together and work for him. And I think like it's what we're right now called, like us, the missionaries, that we're called by Jesus to do something for him. And I felt like related to this chapter. And that's it.
Cool. Yeah, that's so true. Here we are. Jesus gathers us.
Yes.
You would have thought you would be with someone from New Zealand. I never thought I'd be with you all. You know, who thought we'd be with people from Costa Rica, Manila, all over. Yeah, that's
yes. And I think like it's a gift from like Jesus that he gave to us, and we are sharing it, and we're going to later share it with other people. And I think that's really special.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, let's go with Overbrook then. The rest of Overbrook.
Well, I can go. Well, also, it's not like an experience, but something that I was thinking about is when it says about like God has risen from death and has shown us how to live in earth. And let me read that part because I don't really remember. Here it is. It says like he has shown us how to live, and he wants to make presence through us. So it is something that I have been I've been having in my mind lately, that well, to make the presence of God through me, and it's something that I really liked about.
How do you see that in your life? How can you make Jesus present?
I think by the way I live, like loving. I don't have to be like Mother Teresa everywhere or something like that. Just like living like all the things that he has taught us. I think it's really easy, but we have to understand how to do that. And I think the key of that is love.
Yeah, loving people. Yeah, loving Jesus, loving. Thank you, Jimena. That's awesome.
I can go now. Yesterday when I was reading the document, a specific page like called my attention, and where it said like the diagram, everything called my attention, but the diagram where it appeared like what really is like the essence of Regnum Christi, like when Jesus Christ calls me, but also calls like legionaries, consecrated, and other members of Regnum Christi, calls us like to go and help finish the mission he started, well, a long time ago, but doing it with him. Like it's awesome, like to think that we're not alone, like when we go and like try to teach others what we know, and we try to like reveal his love that he revealed to us like in our heart, so that others can also feel it. It's awesome how we're not going alone, like we're going by his hand, because he sends us, but he also goes out with us, because he's not staying there like watching, just like let's see how Lisa and Ceci and Bibi like does it. Like no, he goes, like he actually goes with us, and that way we can like reflect his presence, but he also makes presence with others, and that way others can then be sent to evangelize others. And like I don't know, it came to my mind like the times that it has been difficult for me, and I'm sure that for others too, like to go contra corriente. How can you say it?
Against the current.
Because even like in our age or before, or in some years, I feel like it's really difficult, like to, like in society and everything. So I don't know. It's awesome how he's always there, like to guide us and guide others. And yeah, I don't know.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, it's amazing what you all are doing to give a year to God at your age when other people are doing many other things.
Well, I guess it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
What I read, I love the Regnum Christi forms apostles. Like that's my number one thing, and I love it. Like it forms us to go, like, be an apostolate of Christ and like go and spread the good news. Like I feel that's what Regnum Christi has done in my life, and I think it's something beautiful, and that's what I love Regnum Christi so much, that it teaches us to go to people and to see people and to go outside our comfort zone, and like Jesus did. So I think that's my experience of Regnum Christi.
Awesome. Thank you, Ceci. Okay, I don't think Anna Pau's here, right? She's the last one.
No, the light went off in her house. It was, I don't know how to say it.
He loves Wi-Fi. But
Yeah, that's the hard thing, right? With technology. Okay, all right. Well, anyone? Okay, so now we're going to go to the North American territory. Any of those communities want to go?
I can share.
Okay, Houston.
Part that really stuck out to me is, I actually wrote it down. It says, give glory to God and make the kingdom of Christ present in the hearts of all people and in society. Because I feel that this is what we're going to be doing, like in our mission year. We're going to like spread the kingdom of Christ throughout the different apostolates we carry out. And like throughout these apostolates, we can like I don't know how to say, but like give something good to the society. You understand me? So this really stuck out to me because I feel like this is like what we're going to do. And yeah, that's for me, that's why I'm giving my year. Like I feel that the society really needs like the Regnum Christi, and I can help to be like apostolate and help with the mission God has given to me. So yeah, I like this part.
Awesome, Isa. Yeah, we need to make a real difference in the world, and you do, and you will.
I can go. So, 1 second.
Good timing.
Sorry. For me, I've encountered lots of different groups, like different youth groups, and I've gone to different schools. And for me, where I find the real, like, authentic Catholics, not to like insult everyone else, like just like Regnum Christi's charism is just how I think that it should be. So the little that I read, because I was gone yesterday, the part that really stuck out to me was making present the mystery of Christ, because that's always been a big thing for me. And it's talking about how we fulfill our mission and how we go out to people. Like a lot of times people just like, they don't even think about going out. But the song, like the church song that always comes to me that I don't like because of the melody, but the words is, they'll know we're Christians by our love. That's just how that totally inspired me to be a missionary. Like it's not about like, I mean, like it definitely includes like your personal prayer life and how rounded you are as a person, but then at the end of the day, are you going out and like showing people who you are by how you love, by your actions? Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Grace.
I think the part that stuck to me the most was the apostolate part because, well, I love to do apostolates, so, and I think the Regnum Christi has a lot of them. Like we are dedicated to go out as grace and show the people and be authentic. So I don't know, I like that also about the Regnum Christi and that we come together like all over the world. There's people, there's the Regnum Christi, and with the apostolates you can connect very easy.
Yeah, so true. And it's kind of cool because you can have programs that are similar in totally different countries. They might look a little different. I lived in New Zealand for 4 years in the middle of my consecrated life, so I was living and working there. And we had challenge and conquest camps, so ECYD camps every summer, and I would run them and then I would go to Australia and I'd run it there in Australia with an Australian consecrated woman she's in Manila now, so the ones that are missionaries live with her there. But it was so cool to see challenge, just like I ran it in the United States and ECYD, and they had the girls and the boys could choose as well to join ECYD, and so it looks similar but a bit different. We had a surf camp that was our camp in New Zealand, Australia, because we're right by the ocean, so a little different, but yeah, it's amazing the different apostolates all over. Okay, so back to Mexico territory. Is there anyone that wants to start their community off?
Okay, I can go.
Okay, let's see.
My favorite part was the one that says he reveals the love of his heart. And I've made a little analogy.
Okay.
I think that works as a glass of water. And the water that pours in is the love from God. And if we allow him to get inside, when the glass is full, the water just comes out. And I think that if we let him fill our glass with love, we can go outside and reach other people and reveal God's love through us. So I guess that's my favorite part, because it's like a great I don't know, summary of my own experience in Regnum Christi. So that's it.
Awesome. So true. It's when we feel of Jesus' love, apostolate is easy. It's not like hard work, just comes naturally. I like that analogy. That's cool. We'll use that one. All right. Anyone else from Le Châtelard that's going there?
Me. So I found out the same as Grace, make present the mystery of Christ, because I think it's really cool to find out what Jesus wants us to make every day in our daily life. So I don't know, for me it's really cool to see every day. It's not like I have the plan to all my life, just that I found every day what he wants me to do. So that's how I feel that my Regnum Christi life is, to find out what Jesus called us to make every day. Like this year, my missionary year, I don't know, since I went to Overbrook, I wanted, but every day I was like, is this for me? Is this really for me? So I found that it was for me. So this is how I feel.
Awesome. Thank you, Ana Cris.
Very similar to Lisa. I think that it's amazing how Christ, first of all, he reveals his love to us so we can reveal it to other people. And in that way, other people can look at Jesus through us. So I think that it's amazing how, especially in this year, how other people can look at you and like like this, think about Jesus, or look at an example of his love, or I mean, it's something, I don't know. I'm excited for that, but I'm also like nervous because it's Jesus through me. I mean, I'm revealing his love through me, so it's very hard, but amazing. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Even through the way you smile, I can see Jesus. Okay, so what if we go with, do you want to go Ohio?
I'll go first since Isabel went last time. I have had so many experiences with RC, but like I've been thinking this whole time, and I cannot think of like a single like concrete story experience I can tell. But it's definitely there. But I'll just say something that stood out to me when I read the document was how it like broke down the mystery of Christ the Apostle into like he reveals his love, or he goes out to me, reveals his love, gathers community, forms them, and all that. I was just like really surprised when I read that about how how precisely that was my experience of RC. Like each and every part of that like goes out to me, like reveals his love, gathers a community, like that all happened to me like in those steps too. So it was just like really funny to read that I like it was explained very generally, but I had the exact experience. Like a missionary started like randomly playing volleyball with me like in a parking lot once, and then like we started talking and got to know each other and that kind of thing, and then I found a community in RC and I like made all these kinds of friends, and now I'm forming myself by doing this, and then I'm gonna be sent out on my mission year. So like it's all like exactly what it was describing in the document. So I just thought that was really cool.
Neat.
Okay, so Jeannie and I are like the opposite. She has a ton of experience going Christy, and I do not. So I will share my like one main experience. So the part that I liked was like the main category was he goes out to meet people. And so it says, in his public life, he is present wherever the people of his time are to be found, on the roads, at wedding feasts, at the lake shore, at the tax office, beside a well. And then there's like a bunch of other stuff. But I liked that just because talking about like Jesus going to meet people where they are. And so that just reminded me of Roman Christie. And I have an example. A couple months ago when we let Helen, one of the consecrated from DC, she had me help lead one of the retreats it was a Zoom call one because it was all during the coronavirus, and it was like discover your mission. So it was with these girls, and they were trying to find what they could do this summer. So it kind of just reminded me of that because they were seeing the needs of the people during this time, and I thought that was cool. So that's my experience.
Awesome as well. Thank you. Okay, back to the ones that are going to Spain and Italy. Who wants to go?
I can go, but I think somebody already said it. I wanted to.
That's okay. It's your experience, so you can hear it.
I wanted to talk about the part where it says, forma como apóstoles, líderes y cristianos. So I thought of many experiences I had when I was in ECYD, but especially once in Mexico when there was when all the ECYD leaders like gathered and made a retreat. And I was thinking about that, and only Reino Christi has that. Like no other movement in church prepares young leaders to go and be apostles and fight against all the distractions we have currently in our lives. And yeah, I related that to all of those. I can think about one specifically, but generally all the ACYD experiences as a leader.
Yeah, I love it that we take young people very seriously. We really believe you can be saints, right?
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't read the whole document, but I agree with Monse that I love how in Regnum Christi you like feel the love of God and then you can spread it around the world. And I don't have like a specific experience, but the first time like I don't know how to say it, but the first time I went to missions, I think, like my team leader, she showed me how the love of God was. So that's the moment I like fell in love with God. And now that I am a team leader, I can share that love to to the girls that are in my team. So I love that part of Regnum Christi, that they can share the love of God.
Awesome. Thanks. Vivi?
Hi. So I think what I love most, okay, first of all, I thought it was gonna be like instructions. Like I didn't expect it to be like very reflective. So the part that I loved the most was like the formation part, because I thought it was gonna be like, I don't know, like study the Bible and study these rules and you have to, but no, it literally just says like be like Jesus and show people to be like Jesus. And I don't know, I think it's very true, because the moment that I started like seeing God in everyone was the moment that my life changed. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that people actually see God in me, and that I can change people like the way that like other people changed me, you know? Because everyone has God in them. We just gotta open our eyes a little bit. And that's it.
Awesome. That's really interesting that you were thinking it was going to be all these, rules or something. And then maybe that's because it's so personal to each person too. How God will look in you is different to me and different to each other, right? That's cool. Okay, DC, last group.
I can go. A part that really stood out to me was, I wrote it down. Jesus Christ continuously comes to encounter me. I think that part spoke out to me, because just like realizing that like Jesus is calling you like every day, not just like on Sundays when you're going to church, but like every day he wants you to work in like his mission and do his will. And I think that that's just like really important. And I just thought it was like, it spoke personally to me, because I feel like I didn't know that I wanted to be a missionary like right away. And I prayed about it a lot, and I was just asking for his guidance a lot. And I think like this is really cool, because it's like Jesus like wants me to be a part of his mission, and like he wants me to work with him every day. And I think that's something that like is just really cool to realize.
Yeah, he's going to come to you many ways every day of your missionary year, for sure. All right, Maria.
Sorry, I forgot that it was my turn. But I think the part that resonated with me a lot was the God revealing his love to you, and then you're able to share it with other people. And also, no, I just had, okay. There's one of the things that I read was, as if by our never mind. Our ability to make Christ present is based on the fact that he can be and wants to be present in me and through me. So I just thought that was cool, because it's like everything that we do for God is by him and with him and in him too. And he's just working through all of us and revealing his love in specific ways so that we can share it with other people in the specific ways that they need it too. So we never know the way that God is using us in our own lives, in the way that he's using us for other people's lives that we impact around us too. So I just thought that was cool.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. All right, so anyone else have any other last thought they want to share? Okay, so we're going to move now to more concrete. It's not rules like Vivi thought, but there are principles that when we go over them, and I sent them to you already, you'll see that are really huge gifts that we have in Regnum Christi that we use so that we can really make Jesus present and give Jesus to others in effective ways. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to keep this screen shared. So if you can pull up that image, I'll just do it real quick though, just to quickly explain it. So this is a combination of two ideas. One is the leadership challenge, which I spoke about with the ones from the United States, North American territory, the ones I'll serve here. The leadership challenge is something where there's 5 main principles that any leader can work on and can develop and can become a leader through doing these things. You don't have to be born a leader. Now, all of you are leaders because you are apostles. And not only that, you're Regnum Christi missionaries, you're leaders now with the girls you'll work with and with the families even that you work with. They will look to you as the leader bringing people to Jesus. So these are the 5 ways. Model the way, so the way you live your life. Inspire shared vision, helping people see the bigger vision of why they're here, what they're doing. Challenge the process, that's really trying to be the best person you can be, challenging yourself, but then also challenging how we do things and is it the best way that we can serve the kingdom. And enable others to act, that's like getting other people involved and having them be part of the bigger project or the bigger mission. And then encouraging the heart, encouraging people, being motivating, making people feel excited about what they're doing. So those are this is secular principles. They're not necessarily Christian, but when we look at the Regnum Christi principles, apostolic principles, which there are 8 of them, and the way that we do the apostolate, the flavor that we have in the apostolate, they kind of fit in to each of the 5, which is kind of cool because then it's like you can work on, if you work on one area of your leadership, you'll also probably be working on some of the apostolic principles. And if you work on the apostolic principles, you'll be working on your own leadership. So that's kind of cool. So this morning, what we'll do is we'll go through each of those 8 principles. All right, and we'll look at it. We'll see how it's applied in your life. I want you to think too, like, how does this apply in my life? I'll be asking questions. That's why I want to take the screen off, so it's not that I want to be able to see all of you, and for you to be able to answer freely and share freely. But this is something. Just keep it there so that you know what we're doing. So we're just going to go through those 8 principles. Okay. So I'm going to close it, and I have it here on my phone so I can also look at it. Okay. All right. So before we even start, we're looking at now the apostolate part. So I wanted to ask you, some of you have shared already, but why apostolate? And what is the what do you think is the difference between mission and apostolate? Mission and apostolate. Are they the same thing? Are they different? How are they different? How are they the same? Okay, any thoughts?
Sorry. I think that an apostolate is something you do to complete your mission. Like your mission, it's, I don't know, I see it like my mission is the reason I live. Like I have a mission here, like a very, very big mission. And the way I'm like getting there is by being an apostle. And that's it.
Cool. Okay. So, so maybe mission is your deeper meaning and sense and what God's asking you to do, and then apostolate's concretely how you do it. Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts? Would you all agree with that? I think that sounds reasonable. Okay, so why does God give us a mission? And what is that mission? Vivi, you kind of said like our mission is so big. What's that mission ultimately?
I mean, I don't know. They're like, it's like the plans of God, like the plans He has prepared for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think He sees like the bigger picture, and I see it like when I'm done with my mission, it's when I'm gonna die. Like it's, well, yeah, and I don't know if a mission is the way I live. No, the mission is like why I live. So my mission can be, I don't know, just living and being a good person. And the way I live it is by being an apostle.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. All right. Jimena, did you have something you wanted to share?
Yes, I was going to like answer that one because I think we have like little missions, but all those missions come to one, and it's like to go to heaven and be saints. Like that is like we come here, and yes, but we have little missions that concrete that one.
Okay. Grace, did you want to share something?
I was basically gonna say the same thing. Like the way that I describe it to my challenge girls, like, is all of us are puzzle pieces, and like Regnum Christi is a charism, it's a movement, and not everyone is called to this charism. So how you live out your mission may look differently, but at the end we create one big picture with each of our little pieces, which is to get to heaven, to restore the kingdom of God.
That's a cool analogy. Yeah. Okay. And it's kind of interesting in Regnum Christi, you'll probably do different apostolates in your Regnum Christi life. If you continue Regnum Christi, if it's, vocation, you're like, yes, this is what I want to do with my life. You're going to be doing different things. Like if you think about the people we saw yesterday in the panel, they've done different apostolates. When you're a young adult, you're going to be doing, working in your college and doing some sort of apostolate, getting people excited about the faith. When you become married, maybe you're going to do some sort of apostolate with young married couples. And then when you have kids, you're going to start wanting to have more study circles or groups with other young moms to help learn how to, how am I a mom and how do I love my kids and love Jesus through my marriage. And then you might then do nets, you might do Catholic Kids Net, and then you might do Isid Club. It's going to change. Then you might become a spiritual director when you're a bit older and have the experience. Like the apostolate could look different. But when we talk about apostolic principles, you're going to see that these are things that we can do in whatever apostolate we're doing. And it will make us really bear fruit and bring more and more people to know and love Jesus. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. And these, I remember my class when I was a missionary in my summer program with the principles that the consecrator, I can't remember who taught it, so you're probably not going to remember in the future that I was the one teaching you this, but I can't remember who taught it, but I remember some of the principles helped me so much in my year when things got a bit harder, when I wasn't sure what to do. These principles, if you go back and you think about them, you say, okay, I'm going to focus on one of those or two of those. They will help you really in your apostolate. They're going to be these like keys to different doors that you'll be able to help open up people's hearts to Jesus through your concrete apostolate. Okay, so first of all, we'll start with number 1, which kind of goes under modeling the way, being a witness. Leadership. Leadership. We've already talked about that a little bit, but I'd love to hear from you. What does this mean for you in your missionary life? What does it mean to lead other people and to be a leader?
It's like being example to others and like helping them like get closer to Jesus, like by our example and like what we plan and everything.
Awesome. Thanks, Isa.
I just want to add one word of what Isa just said. I think it's like inspire others. Like the same thing as Isa said, but also using the word inspire.
Mm-hmm. And that's cool because later you'll see it is also like really key. So what does it mean to inspire someone? What does that mean to you, Paloma?
For me, like to inspire someone is the actions that you make, like in your daily life or how you are with others. You like, I don't know how to say it correctly, but you make others want to do something you're doing. Like they see you not like, wow, you're a fan, no, but they're like, oh, she has something that I want to do it. Like she has that light that I want to follow. So I don't know, you start to tell them, oh, I go to the Regnum Christi, or I do all these things, I don't know, whatever, to help others. And so you inspire them like, oh, that's something awesome. And I want to be like that. I want to be also a light to someone else.
Sounds like it lifts your heart and it makes you excited about something and it makes others people excited too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say that to inspire people, when I think of like how do you inspire people, also when I think of leader, I think of the saints. Like to inspire people, all you have to do is be who God wants you to be and what he calls you to be. And I think naturally through that, God will inspire others, because the saints were great leaders and all they did was exactly what God wanted them to do. So I don't know, I just kept thinking of the saints.
So how do you do that, Jeannie? How do you be that saint?
I'm still trying to figure that out. But I think just trying to stay as close to God as I can and do what he wants.
Okay. That comes from learning how to hear his voice, right? To know what he wants, and that's the prayer part. Yeah, so really your leadership, you don't have to be the most extroverted personality to be a leader, right? It's if you really are who you are, how God, the talents, the gifts he's given you, it should shine, it should inspire, and it will lead people to be like that. It's important to remember when you're missionaries, each of you are so different. You have a very unique personality, a way of being, and it's not going to be like your missionary sister right next to you. She's going to have other talents. She's going to have other gifts. And certain girls are going to be very much attracted to your sister. But there are girls that need you and your personality and your type to model Jesus. And that will inspire them in a very real way. It's important. It's important to know that. And you will only find that out, in years later, if you find out. I remember when I was a missionary, the girls you just wouldn't have thought you connected with, later they told me, oh yeah, actually today we have a new consecrated that's going to come and live with us and work in my community. She's coming today from Cincinnati. Allie, sorry to Grace that we're stealing her to Atlanta, but she was my East Wading girl when I was a missionary. So I would go to her house, and she's from Kalamazoo area, Elizabeth, so nearest to you. So she's from Michigan, and I would go there and I'd stay with her family, and we would do challenge retreats. And now she's going to be living with me, consecrated. You just don't know, who you're going to impact. There's a really cool quote, maybe you've heard of it before, of Paul VI, who says, and I think Donna kind of mentioned this too the other day, but modern man, so modern, men and women, girls and boys, listens more to witnesses than to teachers. And if they do listen to teachers, it's because, first of all, they're witnesses. Do you want me to say that again? Modern man listens more to witnesses, testigos, than teachers, than maestras, right? But if they listen to the teachers, it's because, first of all, they're a witness. They're a testigo. So you just have to witness. And from there, you'll be leading people to Jesus. Okay? So this principle also means that when we work with all the girls, each one of them is called to be an apostle. Therefore, each one of them is called to be a leader. So your role is trying to find, where is the leadership in this girl? Maybe she's the really quiet one that's really good at studying, and I don't know, she's the Korean girl in Overbrook. You know, she's very quiet, but she is a leader, and she can be a leader. Maybe it's, how do I help her to bring out those gifts and to share that and help someone else in their schoolwork, or help others with, if she's very intelligent, ideas about culture. That's actually how our society and culture runs. Is the people with ideas, they make things happen in the world. Maybe she is a really beautiful, loving, joyful girl, so she's going to lead through those friendships that she can make really easily. Okay, let's make sure we make those friendships lead those friendships to Jesus, right? So for you, first of all, you're leaders and you're forming yourselves to be leaders, but then each girl that you work with is called to be a leader, and it's about helping find what her strengths are and to bring those out. And how do you do that? How can you bring the strengths out in the girls that you work with concretely? What are your thoughts? If you're in the academy and you're working with the girls all day long, and you see this one girl has these specific, you know, you're like, really, we need to try and help her. I mean, every single one, you're going to need to do that. But like, how do you actually then give her opportunities to grow her leadership?
I think I will give her tasks on like certain things I see she's good on, and she can be like a leader to someone else, like to the other girls in the section or something. And by her doing it, she's going to see how people are like seeing her or following her, or but like in a positive way.
Yeah. So, and giving her things that she can see herself, that she has those qualities. Maybe you see it, but we're so bad as women. Like, we never think we have qualities or gifts. We're very negative about ourselves. So we need to try and strengthen their image of themselves as beautiful, beloved daughters of God, right? Any other thoughts?
Also, I think talking to her and maybe making her tell you what she thinks her strengths are, because maybe we can see some strengths and she can say, no, I don't feel like comfortable doing those things, but I feel comfortable doing like the other things you didn't see about her.
So get to know her really well.
Mm-hmm.
Spend time with her. Yeah, each one of you are going to be mentors. You're going to be accompanying each of your girls and talking with them, getting to know them, and then trying to help them, you know? Okay, well, that principle of leadership, I think, is like ongoing, right? We're always going to be learning and growing in that. So everything you do, the girls are going to watch. They will see. They will remember every single skirt that you wear and what it looks like. They will remember, I mean, they know everything about you because they're constantly watching. So the way you dress, the way that you welcome them, the way that you listen to them, the music you listen to in the car, you know, or on the bus, what you put on your social media, they're gonna see. Everything now is open. So it's important to remember that you're that example all the time, right? And that's because you're leading. You're bringing them somewhere. So everything you do can bring that girl somewhere. And hopefully we're you know, we're bringing them to Jesus. Okay, so next principle is integral and ongoing formation. Okay, what does this mean? Integral and ongoing formation.
Like the part of ongoing formation, like never stop learning. Like you can always learn something new and never stop growing.
Yep, awesome. So that's a personal personal journey. How do you think this looks in the apostolate concretely? In the way that we do things, the way that we run our clubs, the way that we work individually with the girls.
Well, I think like always trying to be a very good example to them first. But what I have learned is that when you go into an apostolate, you learn more from them than them from you. Like I don't know, that's my personal opinion. Like I always learn a lot.
So when you are responsible for other people and you're giving to them, you receive, because maybe because it's demanding a lot from you as well, and because you're seeing God and the people you serve, right? So you're growing in your own formation. Okay, so when we also do that with the girls we work with and we give them opportunities of apostolate, that's also ongoing formation, right? And we can use those moments to help form them. Any other ideas or thoughts on how, or experiences you've had of that?
Me. I think with integral formation, I think that like here in Monterrey with DCYD, like I think we cover the whole aspect of their human being, like being with other people, their spiritual life, their life with their friends. Like I think it covers all of it in one apostolate or with one thing we do. Like it's to form the girls in every aspect of their lives, not just as an apostolic project or their life with Jesus, like blend it all together and to be like to the friend Jesus be part of their life too. I don't know if I said correctly, but I think like that. I think that what have in common all the apostles of Reigning Christi, that it's to gather all the human aspects, the formation aspects, everything, and like put it into one apostle. And I think that's integral and ongoing formation, that it like it continues, not just stays there. Like with you go 1, 2 with the nursing home. No, like you still are growing after going to the nursing home, or like see the process you have grown by going to the nursing home. I think like it's like just like yes, ongoing formation, like from one experience to another, and from them like in every aspect.
Yeah, cool. And it's kind of neat how, so a nursing home project, right, with the girls, sometimes, well, always, our apostolates can be moments that the girl thinks they are giving, but they're going to learn more about themselves too through that. So maybe they're having a hard time going up to someone that looks very sick and can hardly speak, but you can have a conversation with them about their own human formation of loving the person, even if they look kind of strange or you're kind of scared of them. Okay, how do I grow in that? How can I get confidence to go out? So when you're accompanying your girls in the apostolate, those are beautiful moments. You can help them with the overall formation too, right? And growth in their own love for Jesus, everything. Yeah, and you think of our schools, all of our schools have integral formation as key. We don't just do one area. We're not just classes, intellectual, you know, not just a prayer group. It's integral. Okay, so you need to make sure that that's what you're doing, right? When you're working with the team leaders, when you're working with the girls, are we making sure our program is allowing each of the areas, human, spiritual, apostolic, and intellectual, that they can grow in those 4 areas, right? Okay, third principle under inspire shared vision is inspire others for the mission. So that's kind of cool. We already mentioned that a little bit. Paloma was saying it's inspiring, and Jeannie too. I think when we look at this principle, it's a little bit even more of that of like, let's inspire them to go out, but then inspire them how they can do that too, right? In Regnum Christi, we try to help them see, how can I do apostolate? How can I be an apostle? So in Spanish, the phrase that we use, you tell me Spanish speakers if you've heard this one, but hacer, hacer, y dejar hacer. Have you heard that one before? Okay, would you like to explain it? Someone that's heard it before and kind of understands it. Explain it into English. The English translation is kind of weird. I'll give it to you at the end, but it doesn't quite capture. The Spanish is better. Hacer, 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 y dejar hacer. Who wants to try and explain what that principle means?
I've never heard it before.
No? Okay.
No.
That's fine. That's why we have the class. Any others that have heard it? Not really? Okay.
I think it is like you have to do your part, but everyone has to do something. So sometimes people like wants to do everything, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, but we all have something to give to others. So have that like that humility, then knowing that everyone has something to give, and you do your part, but also you leave the other person to do that part. I don't know if I got
Yeah, that's a good overall explanation.
And if you are a leader, to learn how to delegate. I think that's pretty much it. I've never heard it. I've heard another one that says vive y deja vivir, but it's different. It has a different sense. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same.
Okay. Yeah, this was the Spanish phrase we used a lot in Regnum Christi maybe 10 years ago, so maybe it's not as common. But okay, this is the English translation. Okay, so I said, first of all, you should play your part. You should be doing something, right? You don't just sit back like we're active in the apostolate. So do, but then hacer is getting others to do. So delegating, allowing others to do. So, so the first one is I am doing my part, I'm responsible. And then when I get others to do, hacer, it's how can I get other people excited about doing something and teach them maybe it's teaching them how to do something. Maybe it's giving them little tasks like we spoke about earlier, giving them things they can do that are small that can then grow and as they learn. Making them partners in the way that you do something. Okay, so encouraging their talents, encouraging their apostolic zeal. So you get others to do, and then dejar hacer is that you let them just do it. So it's almost like full delegation. So in English, it's do, get others to do, and let others do. And that is letting them go with their initiative, supporting their suggestions, giving them, empowering them. In English, I like that word in English. I don't know how you'd say it in Spanish, but when you empower someone, it means you give them you give them power to do whatever. So let's look and see concretely how this could look in apostolate. Most of you, I think, have been team leaders for ECYD or ESID, right? In some way, you've had a small group. Maybe it's in your parish. You've had a small group that you've worked with. So now you are missionaries that oversee those team leaders. So when you are running or supporting, a challenge group, or is it Club Gira in Mexico? Is that the girls' club? Like you're letting the team leaders. So maybe sometimes this is what happens, right? Maybe I'm thinking, Jeannie, probably you've had this experience. It's like I was a team leader, one of my girls now is becoming a team leader, you know. So you're taught them how to be a team leader through your action. Now you are trying to train her to be a team leader. You're going to get her to do things as a team leader, but maybe she's not ready just yet to just go by herself and not have any support. But then once you form them, you've walked with them, you let them do. And yes, someone mentioned it. It takes a lot of humility, because you could probably run that club better than she could, or that team better than she could, because you're older, you have more experience. But you, in letting her lead and letting her run her team, her new team, you're forming the leadership in her, and you're inspiring her for the mission, and she's taking ownership. It's her team. It's not her doing something that you're telling her to do and that she has to do. And then you give her total freedom to be that team leader, right? And to have the authority in the team. So another way to look at it is we are called to multiply ourselves. So I can do, as consecrated, I can do so much. But now, in a way, I'm like dejar hacering with you all. I'm letting you all do. It's like you're going to multiply. When you form someone, you're going to multiply yourself. Now they are going to go out and they're going to have a team, and they're going to, it's just it continues, right? And we form more and more people. And sometimes it means I form someone and then I step back and I'm not part of that anymore. And that's fine. And then I help someone else and I form someone else, and then I step back and I let them do. So that's very, very, very present in everything that we do in Regnum Christi. It's a really beautiful principle that makes more and more and more apostles that feel confident, that are leaders, that feel well equipped, because we don't just tell them, okay, you're a team leader today, you weren't yesterday, now you do everything. Well, no, there's in between steps, right? And you think of your own experience. We're not just going to throw you out there as missionaries. We're accompanying you now. And then, yeah, there will be times that we'll just say, okay, that's your responsibility. We totally trust you to look after that team or look after those girls, or we believe in you. So it's believing in people also allows them to be inspired. Any thoughts on that? Does that make sense? Have you seen that in your life, in your experience?
It's like the replication of what we said happens with God in our lives. It's the exact same thing. Like he lets us do, and that's what we are called to do.
Wow.
It's
yeah,
like a
that's cool.
circle. Wow. Yes, it's a circle. It's the same thing. And at the same time, it's a huge responsibility. Not to be scared, but it is.
It is a huge responsibility. And what are some temptations we might have with this principle of letting other people do? What are some challenges we might find?
Laziness, and on the other side, the opposite, like wanting to do everything and don't let people help through the mission, and wanted to be only the protagonist of the story, forgetting that God called us as a community to help each other and to reach heaven as a community. And the opposite side is like, well, I will just let everyone else do everything and I'll just rest. At the end of the day, it is going to work. It doesn't matter. Well, at the end of the day, God makes it work, but we have to be a part of it. It's our mission.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank Monse. Okay, you guys ready for a break? We'll take a little break. Sound good? Okay, it is 12:10. Why don't we meet at 12:25? 15 minutes. Okay, see you then. Hold on. I don't know if I can share this and make sure people, okay, maybe it's fine. Okay, so welcome back. I'm going to just pull this up again so we see where we are in this process. Okay, so we have gone over the first one, leadership, integral and ongoing formation. Okay. And we did inspire others for the mission. We spoke a lot about that because there's a lot there I think that we can do. The hacer, dejar hacer, hacer, dejar hacer. Okay, so we're going to go on now and look at the next 5 principles, and then we will wrap up there and start on our group projects. Okay, sound good? All right, so next principle. Organized and effective apostolate. I really believe that this is something very significant to Regnum Christi. I don't know if you would agree with me, but I feel like when we do things, we try to do them as professional as we can. Why? Why would we try and do things professional? If we trust God works, why would we put a lot of effort into making sure things are done well and are effective?
Because even though like God is with us and like he makes sure everything is carried out like in a good way, we have to like put like our part. Like it is not something that it is it's going to be made just because we trust in God. Of course we trust in God, but we have to like play our part.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's like a gift from us to God, and it has to be like perfect to like show him what we're doing for him, and also like the people that are involved. I don't know, the people that we're going to see, they have to receive God in a special way. Like we have to make it perfect for them to see what God really is. And I don't know, also for the people that are organizing the things, it has to be like you have to sacrifice things to make it perfect, to make it like for others. Like if you want to invite other people, they're not going to go if it's like something boring. They're going to go if it's amazing and they see that you're putting a lot of effort to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you think about it, something that's so cool about Regnum Christi is we try to find creative and attractive ways to evangelize. Right? It's a hard world that we're evangelizing. Everything out there that's done professionally, that's done well, is very attractive. You think about the movie. I mean, movies are done so amazingly, right? Hollywood puts amazing things on. So if we're trying to bring people to spend time with Jesus, it needs to be well done. I like what you said too, Paloma, about like we try to give our best back to God, right? It's not, we don't have to be perfect. No one's perfect, but we try the best that we can to give what have we received and we give it back to him, right? This one's a lot of different principles. Like, what do you think in your missionary life it looks like to be to do organized and effective apostolate? What does that mean for you personally?
I think it means like showing Jesus through you like every day and like showing that to others. Like you said, like we don't have to be perfect. But just like the way that we like show ourselves off to like the community and people around us, and just showing them that like we ourselves are responsible and we can show the love of God through us every day in how we act and what we say and what we do. And I think that that's like really important to, like how you said, like how we're organizing and just showing that to others, I think.
Yeah, responsibility, that's huge, right? If you say you're going to do something, make sure you do it. Following up with people. So if you are in charge of making sure all the girls, the teams all know about the retreat coming up, right? Following up, calling the parents, calling the moms, explaining it, making sure you're organizing the information, answering questions when they ask. What other things can help you to be organized and effective?
For me, what works is like writing everything down, like everything I have to do, and have like a schedule. That helps me a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so you put like what you have to do, and then you say schedule is like when is it going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Always make a when for the what. That's key. Otherwise, sometimes it never happens. That's a good tip. Okay, anyone else? What about organizing things? Like making sure you do it in the procrastination. You have that in Spanish, that word? Procrastinate. You procrastinate. I don't know how you'd say that. But you keep, you know you've got the retreat. It's this Friday. You have 40 girls coming, and you wait until Thursday night to do everything that needs to get done. Okay, well, maybe that's not the best way. We're loving those girls and showing them, our love for them is maybe, okay, we got Friday. I have this time between now and Friday. What can I do? Try and get things done in an orderly time. Otherwise, we don't always give our best if we're not prepared well, right? So you have an event, preparing beforehand, not just improvising. That doesn't mean you have everything perfectly planned, so then there's no room for the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit wants us also to be free and to listen to his inspirations, but it's both and. It's I am prepared, but then I also leave room for God to speak and guide, right?
That's what I was going to say about that specific situations of like I have a retreat this Friday, or I have to make sure I have an activity planned for Tuesday or something like that. What always works for me, besides what Isabel said of like writing everything down or putting alarms or reminders, also it helps me a lot like to think. Like I don't have to force everything, like just to have it right on time and like stressing out. Like I always like to leave that space like for the Holy Spirit, like for him to help me, like not forcing things and not not stressing out. So that way I like everything can come out like more naturally, or I don't know how to say it. So that I think that also helps a lot more than to have like a strict schedule or timings without procrastinating.
It's a balance, right?
It's having a balance between the not procrastinating and like everything. Yeah. So yes.
And you'll learn it. You'll make mistakes. Yeah, and you'll learn. You'll just learn how to find the balance of the two. You'll learn to be a partner of the Holy Spirit. Vivi.
One very important thing is like to learn to say no,
Okay.
Because sometimes you want to say yes to everyone and you end up like having so much work to do and you end up not doing anything good.
So how do you discern what to say no to and what you can say yes to?
Well, having priorities. Yes, that. Because I don't know, if you compromise yourself to do something, like you tell a girl, you promise a girl to do something, and then you say to, I don't know, whoever's in charge, like, yes, when you can't, like, you end up being very tired and doing everything wrong. Like, that's something that I have to work a lot, because I can't say no to someone. So I end up doing everything wrong. So I think it's one of the most important things, like learning to say no. If you can't do it, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to not do it than to quedar mal. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and that sometimes might mean you talk with your head of apostolate and you see, I have this happening, I have this happening, I have this happening. I'm getting confused. I don't know which one I can say yes to or which one I have to prioritize. Can you help me see that? And that's fine. Sometimes it's talking with your other missionaries or talking with the consecrated or the lay person in charge of you. Mm-hmm.
I'm really sorry. I just want to add something. I think
Sure.
something really important is like to know your girls, your challenge girls, or if I'm going to overbook, like my section girls, like to know what is effective for them and what will help them. Because I think if you plan an activity, great planned, and it's like a lot of things and activities, but the girls don't, like you don't get to the girls, I think it's really important to know the girls you're working with so you can get to them in the apostolate.
Perfect. Yeah. So it's knowing the needs and answering the needs effectively means you have to think personally with each reality. Mm-hmm. Yep. Very, very good point. And it kind of leads to the next point, which is flexibility. So that's kind of cool, is that we're like organized and we're effective in Regnum Christi, but we're also flexible, right? We can leave space to say, well, this challenge, we run challenge in this country like this, but in another country, it's going to look a bit different. The same principles, the same mission, the same charism, but we have to be flexible. It's not going to work. And even in the same Overbrook Academy, one of the sections might need something totally different from another section. So it means being very like aware, watching, observing, seeing how people react, getting feedback, right, from the girls. I mean, they'll probably tell you if they like it or not. But getting feedback from the people you're working with. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely, so this next point, number 5, flexibility, is adapting to the time and place. That's part of that principle, adapting to the time and the place. So even in Overbrook Academy, each year might look different. And over time, I'm sure you saw that if you were a team leader for 4 years with your girls, even the timing of things is going to look different. Or even the timing in the year, the beginning of the year, usually the girls are excited, but then they get tired. And then at the end, they're sad because the year is going to finish. So the timing will depend also on the different events, the activities, how you approach them, how you work with them, how you preach to them, right? You're going to be adapting to that. So I love that about Regnum Christi too, is we're constantly adapting. I don't know about you, but here in the United States, I was so impressed by the coronavirus hit right before Holy Week. And, Holy Week, I'm sure all of you, you had your missions you were going to do, and maybe you've been planning it for the last year. I know in Atlanta, it was like a year planning for our missions. Oh, I just disappeared. You see me? Okay. So, and then all of a sudden we can't do missions. We can't go out. We can't, organize these things. And so all of a sudden, very quickly, we adapted, because that was Regnum Christi. It took a lot of creativity, a lot of listening, a lot of talking, trying things, failing in things. But here in the States, at least, we had Holy Week missions in a lot of the cities. And I know some of you participated in Washington, D.C. They still had Holy Week missions, even though they were virtual. Atlanta, it looked a bit different in each place. But Regnum Christi is like that. We will we like problems. We like to problem solve, come up with solutions. We won't just sit there looking at the wall like, oh no, that's too much. Nope, we can do this. With God's grace, we can do anything. So we're going to find a creative way to do this, right? So that's this principle here, this flexibility, adapting to times and places. Any other thoughts on that? On this particular principle, flexibility? It makes sense, right? You gotta leave room for the Holy Spirit. Okay, so then the next principle, accompaniment. Now, tomorrow night we'll be in depth about this theme of how do we accompany in Regnum Christi. So Gudelia and the missionaries out there in Manila, Gudelia is one of the consecrated there that works in Manila. She, so very beautiful, and it will be, we'll go in depth, but in general, any thoughts on the importance and why accompaniment is something we should do in all of our apostolates?
So Lisa, are we meeting the Philippine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
That's
you'll get
exciting.
Yeah, because it's like 7:30 in the morning for them, so they're getting up early to meet with us.
Wow.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, so accompaniment.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so how do we live this? Just you can get your initial thoughts, and why do we do this? Why is accompaniment so important?
I feel it is important because, like, for example, in EasyYD, you have to get to know your girls. As what Ceci said, you have to, like, know your girls to know, like, what is best for them and how can you help them, like, the best. So you have to know them so you can, like, show them the love of God, like, in the best way possible, and in a way they can, like, feel it, like, more, you know. So yeah, I think it's important to, like, really know them.
Are there concrete ways you'll do that, do you think, in your year?
Yeah, through, I don't know how to say it, but diálogo. There are like the missionaries I have met here in Puebla, they even gave us, like, diálogo to the team leader. So it was, like, great because you get to know them, like, really close. And I think it's a moment to, yeah, like, to have, like, a deeper connection. I really like having, how do you say diálogo? Do you know, Lisa?
You can say dialogue. We say in general we mentor the girls.
Okay.
Mentoring.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's, like, and a specific action we can do to, like, get to know the girls better.
Yeah. And you can do that formally, like, you know, when I was a missionary, I took a group of girls from Michigan, 30 girls, to Saltillo for mega missions in Holy Week. And the consecrated that was from Monterrey didn't speak any English. So I had to do all the dialogues, or not spiritual direction, because I wasn't a spiritual director, but, like, I had to meet one-on-one with all the girls and see how their week was going. So sometimes it's more formal like that. And then other times it's just you're at the retreat and you're sitting on the bed with the girl and they start sharing everything and asking your advice. And, you know, so sometimes it's informal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a key way of supporting them and encouraging them individually. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there because we will go more in depth tomorrow, and Gudelia's got a lot of experience in this to give you a lot of good tips. Okay, so then we're moving quickly on to number 7, formation of formators. All right, what does this mean? Formation of formators.
What, can I go?
Yeah, sure.
What I said before, like, that we what we saw in the diagram, like, that we go out, like, in salida, to find people who will find more people to find more people. Like it's like a chain of like helping people to form forming people so that then they can finish forming themselves, and then they can go and help other people to use information, and that way we can like make the mystery of Christ like alive, like literally in the whole world. And yes.
Awesome. Yeah. So we're forming other people to form other people that will form other people. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to give a lot of time to every single one of your girls. I remember when I was a missionary, we had a high school retreat and we had like 40 girls. And one of the girls that naturally was kind of a charismatic leader, like all the girls just wanted to spend time with her and were always with her. She had a really negative attitude. She was like, did not want to be there. Her mom made her be there. She did not like being there. And she made sure everyone knew that. And I was so frustrated the first day. I'm like, this is not helping. Like she has this influence that's bringing the spirit down. So I remembered in our class, it's like, well, sometimes you need to just spend a little bit more time with that person that is naturally influencing a lot of people, of the rest of the girls, and see if you can just try and draw closer to them and win them over to Jesus. So I spent a bit of extra time with her, and then we did debates, okay? And she was very strong character, so I was like, I'm going to debate her. So we did a debate. There were lots of different debates, but I went up against her for one of the debates. And afterwards, we connected, like it was good. And then her attitude completely changed. So then the rest of the other girls like started getting into it. And then the retreat, like actually, you know, by the end of it, it was very beautiful and they all had an encounter with Jesus. But she intimidated me. She kind of scared me because she had such a strong character. But I was like, you know what? She's got to change. Something's got to change. I'm just going to love her and love her and love her and love her and love her. And it did. God used that, and that God used her to form and touch the others around her. Right. So sometimes that's one way to help a little bit when you're working with groups of girls. There's always going to be one that can kind of influence a little bit more in some way, while forming each of them to be leaders. But sometimes you're also limited. You can't give you have a limited time to help. Okay, any other thoughts on this? Forming formators. We spoke a little bit about it, right? Is that letting them do, multiplying ourselves is very important. Okay, and then last one is teamwork, which is definitely in Regnum Christi. Okay, so why is this important? Why is teamwork important? And why do we need to make sure we're working in team? Or getting the girls to work in team?
Because I feel like everyone has like great ideas, and like you can share them and make like the best. We're like getting together all the different ideas from different people. You can like create something even better than what you had planned before, like alone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can like help each other with different ideas, and yeah.
Great.
And I also think we cannot do everything by ourselves. Like we need help.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe as a missionary, we feel we have a lot of responsibility. Like for example, to the retreat by ourselves. But it's okay to ask for help and everyone como aportando their ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're limited. You only have so much time and only so much, that you can do. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But teamwork is not always easy, right? What do we need to work on personally, and then help the girls work on personally, so that teamwork can be fruitful?
Patience, I think, is key to teamwork.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Patience. What else?
Also, I think like listening to listening to like everyone's ideas, like not like getting, I don't know how to say, but cerrarte like in your ideas, like listening to what everyone has in mind, and yeah.
Yep. So you're not closed. Yeah, you have open mind, open heart. Elizabeth, were you going to share something else?
I was gonna say kind of the same thing that Issa said. Just like understanding that everyone is gonna like have their ways that they can like help, and like what you can do, and everyone has like different talents and different gifts that they can bring to the team. And just like recognizing that like you all want to work together, and like you're working towards the same goal. And also having patience. That one is good too.
All right. Anything else? Any other things for teamwork? Okay, we're going to have an experience of that for our project, which I'm going to explain in just a sec. But we've gone over now those 8 principles. I want us to do one quick round, and I want each person to share of the 8 principles, what is one that they want to work on more. So they think it's, okay, it's an area that maybe doesn't come so naturally, but it's something that during this year I want to have that presence and make sure I'm implementing. Okay, so take a look at the 8. And then we'll do one round and we'll hear from each of you, okay? Okay, who wants to start?
I
can start. Oh, sorry. No, you go.
Okay. I was just gonna say the being more like organized and effective, and just having everything ready and following up on everything and checking and getting feedback and everything.
Cool.
I also was going to say number 4, like organized and effective apostolic, because I feel like I'm a really close-minded person, like in that aspect. Like I have my schedule, like I want to work in what exactly Lisa said, like not be like too, I don't know how to say in English, but cuadrada, like yeah, like close-minded, like yeah. Usually when I organize like EasyYD, and yeah, I have like my schedule, and I don't like to like go out of it, and if I do, I get like stressed. So I really have to work on it, because if not, I'm going to be like stressed all the time. And like trusting God and like in the Holy Spirit, like what Lisa said, I really like that, because it's like trusting the Holy Spirit and know like you don't have to like have everything like perfect. Like there can be like a little space for like the Holy Spirit to help you. So I think I have to work on it, like not be like that close-minded, and yeah, like just like let things flow and trust that God is with me and he's going to help me.
Awesome. Cool.
I can go. So this is going to make for an interesting year, because I'm the exact opposite of Issa. I
work well together then.
There we go, teamwork.
I'm very, very spontaneous. Like I can stick to a schedule. I don't have a problem with that, but I like to have wiggle room, and sometimes that's not the best thing for me. I sometimes just get super like hyper focused on the things that I'm most excited for. So like for the kinds of retreats that we lead, we have like night activities and team time and stuff like that. And I have a hard time like planning the logistics. I'm just like always throwing out ideas. I'm like, oh, we could do this and we could do this and we could do this. Like I'm just like a dreamer, and like I can follow through on my dreams, but it's usually just the ones that I'm super excited for, not the ones that I'm like, oh yeah, like we could do that. So I have to figure out how to rein myself in and like prioritize and make sure we actually get everything done instead of just focusing on the things I'm excited about.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think you guys are gonna have fun. Teamwork.
I think for me, like I love to work to work like in teamwork. But I feel like sometimes it's a little difficult for me, not because I don't like it, but because I get like super excited and I like to have everything done like this. And like, I don't know, sometimes I just get so apasionada. Like passionate? Uh-huh. And I don't know, I'm a little bit scared about it because it's not that I don't want to do it. It comes out of me like, I am this, and like, and then I just like this, I have everything done and I don't even notice it. Like, I don't know. So yes, I would like to like maybe be more patient and keep some things for myself and then like let others do do them. But yes. that.
Great. Thanks, Lisa.
Well, for me, I think it's gonna be also the 4 point, the organized and effective apostolic, because I'm the most disorganized person. Literally, I'm super lazy and I always do everything, but I do it like 11 p.m. So I never sleep and I again. So I want to be like to have my schedule and do the things with time, because I always do the things like, okay, like in 5 minutes. So I have that goal this year to be more organized in my times, because I know I'm gonna have to do a lot of things, so I don't want to leave everything to the end. I think it's something that I really need to work on.
Yeah. Well, that's good too. That like your missionary year will have a lot of schedule to it, so but it takes a lot of discipline, right? to follow it. All right.
I also have to work on number 4 because I'm like Jime, and I always procrastinate. So I think I'm going to do what Isa does. I'm going to have a notebook so I can write all the things I can do, because I always do it at the well, just like Jime, at night when I have to finish it, I'm starting.
I think also one of my flaws is order, but not because I'm lazy, but because I do way too many things. So like when I have an idea, I always try to do it. So I end up like sleeping 3 hours a day because I'm trying to do so many things at the same time. And I'm really energetic. So even though I sleep 3 hours, I can be really like I always have energy. But the thing is, like I have like a breakdown where I'm all sad and all angry because I'm tired and hungry. So I think I have to, like I said before, I have to learn to say no, because I don't know, like in my house, even though we're on vacations, I'm always working, because if my mom tells me like wash the dishes, I'll do it. And if my sister tells me help me with this, I'll do it. And I end up like doing so many things, which can be really cool because I'm really productive, but also can be really hard because I don't know what happened last time. Last time my mom told me like to help her hacer vueltas. How do you say that? Like in the car. like
Make rounds.
I don't know.
What were
like,
you doing?
No,
Like,
no, no.
turn
Like
around.
going in the car and going to like pick up things.
Errands.
Mandados.
Yeah, mandados. That. And I have like 3 meetings. So I was like doing the meeting while doing like so many carpools and things. Yeah, because I can't say no. So I didn't hear well the meeting, and I was like doing so many questions. So I don't know. I have to like measure my times and learning to say no and accepting that I'm not superwoman. And yeah, that's it.
Great.
I think I have to work on number 5, flexibility, because I'm like super organized, like extremely organized. Like I have my schedule, and it's like from 8 to 9 I have to work out. From 9 to 10 I have this meeting. From 10 to 11 I have this other thing. And if you tell me like, hey, I don't know, my friend calls me and tells me, can we talk at 11? I'm like, no, I have to do this. I can't talk to you. So I have like almost call my secretary to see if I have time. So yeah, I think I have to work a lot in that, because I'm going to Overbrook. So in the academy, I don't know if we have an activity or something and the consecrated tells us, oh, we have to do this, we have to change our activity to another time. So I have to learn that, and I think it will help me, because sometimes I get really, really stressed, like so bad that I even feel sick.
I'll go. I think flexibility as well. I love schedules. I have like 8,000 reminders on my phone, alarms. I mean, yeah, that's just me. And when something changes, I freak out a little. I've learned to work through it and get it together. But something that someone told me once is that when something is lacking, God, through the Holy Spirit, provides. So when the activity didn't went well, we don't have enough. Once we were in mega missions and we didn't had enough cars to go to the pueblo village, and I was stressed out because what are we gonna do? I was a section assistant and I was really, really stressed. And all of a sudden, an uncle of mine, I mean, it worked out at last. And I was like, yes, when it comes to activities, when God is involved, he will provide. So that's why I've learned through bruises in life in which I got really stressed that I don't have to get too stressed because God will provide. So, and also learn how to say no, because I have a lot of energy as well as Vivi. And I'll wash the dishes. Yeah, I will make this and that and that. And at the end of the day, I end up sleeping 2 hours, and it works for some days. But at the end of the week, I'm like, on Sunday, don't talk to me. I'm going to sleep. Don't get away from me. I'm in bad mood, you know? So it is not necessary to get to that point when you can learn how to say no and organize better your activities and letting spontaneous things happen as well. It's a balance at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. I love how unique each person is. It's great.
I have many things that I need to work on, and this scares me a little bit. But one is flexibility, as Monse says, because I love to do many things, and I can do it, but then I don't know how to say it. I need time to rest too. And I don't know, we need to make our schedule really, I don't know, like flexible, because if, I don't know, in the academy, I don't know, Vero comes and told Monse and I to do something, and we need to change everything, and I don't know, we can get a little bit stressed. So it's that, and maybe organized by many things that I need to do. I don't know how to say it, like I write everything, but Lisa knows. Yesterday I wrote down that we need to do homework and I forget it. But it was in my notebook, but I forget it. So I don't know. That maybe that. But I have many things to work on.
Great. And I'm sure you have many gifts that will come naturally to you too.
I hope so.
Who else? We have a few people we're missing.
For me, I don't think.
Adriana?
No, you can go. You can go. Okay. Mine's nothing special, like people already said it, but mine was also flexibility. Just because I also write everything down, and I do get stressed when things like don't happen according to plan, and that just, I feel like every time that happens, it just makes the situation worse when I get more stressed, and I'm sure that happens with like everyone else too. And so just learning to be able to adapt and problem solve and work it through, and just ask God for his assistance, as opposed to like, oh my gosh, now nothing's gonna work and everything's gonna be bad now, but just trusting in God and knowing that everything happens for a reason. So yeah.
Cool.
For me, I don't think anyone has said this before, but the part of acompañamiento with my girls in ESIL, I tend to forget about the ones like the quieter ones, you know, the ones that don't usually participate or talk. But I think those are the most important girls that we should pay even more attention, because they don't have like the confidence to speak out like in group talks or in retreats. So I think I want to focus on like pay more attention to them and like offering more, not service, but like offering more of these tools we have as missionaries.
Cool.
I feel like I need to work on making room for the Holy Spirit when I'm like planning things. I think I like planning every little detail, and I like sort of get attached to my ideas. So when somebody's like, oh, like maybe we should do this, I'm like, so I need to learn to or like realize that it's what I'm doing is God's work, not mine. So yeah.
I think for me, for next year, I really want to work on managing my time a little bit better. So number 4, definitely just like being a little bit more organized in my daily schedule. I used to have like my schedule and like what I did every day and like the times when I had to do it, but I think quarantine and like being home a lot made my schedule kind of disappear a little bit. So just like finding that balance for like managing my time and like what I have to do during my day is definitely something I want to work on.
Awesome.
I think for me, the keeping in touch and like, because, well, yeah, keeping in touch and, you know, having those little details, because I have a list, and when I always have a to-do list, and when I'm over with something, I'm over. I don't think about it anymore. So I have a problem that I don't keep in touch with things, like check, and I need to.
So are you saying the accompaniment area or? Okay, so with the people. Great. Okay, a few people left still. Maria, have you shared? You did share? Okay. Is that everyone? Okay, awesome. Well, I had a few thoughts while all of you were sharing. One is that it looks like that those areas are going to be a lot of fun in community life, right? Some of you are like, woo, I'm present moment. I'm here with you now, and I am not thinking too far ahead. And you have others that are like, I've got the rest of my life planned out. And so that'll be a lot of learning from each other. And that's probably where some of the patience will come in, but a lot of learning too, which will be good. I think in the fourth week when we do ECYD and we look again more at some of the apostolic principles, I'll see with Helen if she can do something a little bit on time management, but and organization tips, like other tips that are concrete. But some of you probably have some that you could share. You know, it's like a sharing we could do. But I was just thinking about that. I was also thinking, I don't think it's next week, but the third week when you're going more into who am I, what are my gifts, what are my strengths, you're going to do the Strength Finders testing assessment. And I love their approach because they said that if you put 80 or 90% of energy into using your strengths and 10% on improving whatever you need to improve on, you're going to be able to do so much more than if you spend 80% of your time working on what you need to improve and only 20 or 10% using your gifts, right? So I think that's important too. Like, it's so good that you each have areas that you're working on, but don't let that be all of your energy and all of your time. You have strengths and you have gifts that you can be giving, and to let those flourish and grow, and you'll be an awesome apostle. And then last little thought was, some of you mentioned it, but self-care, that for you as missionaries, you don't have to say yes to everything. You can say no. You can do that with a lot of love and charity, and you can look after yourself. Actually, when you do sleep the amount of hours you need to, if you do eat well, you have time to rest, you do your exercise every week, a few times a week, that is not being selfish. You shouldn't feel bad. That is you being the best apostle and best person and instrument you can be. Someone gave me an example, because I can be more that way as well, of not saying no to a lot of things. And it's helped me since she gave me this example. But she said, you're not like a violin player. Okay, so a violin player has a beautiful violin, and then they play the violin, okay? And the violin is the instrument, and you can make that, tune it, and you can make it really nice. It's not the same for you as an apostle. As an apostle, I am my instrument. How I am doing, how I'm making sure I'm tuned by having my exercise, by having my sleep, by eating well, by having rest, doing things that give me life and energy, it makes me the better instrument. So I have to look after my body, but that isn't selfishness. That's me being able to love and give more. So I'm not grumpy. So I'm, I can give myself and I can love. So that's going to be an important lesson, I think, for some of you, especially this year. That it's going to be a great lesson, and it'll be a life lesson as well. Okay, so we have a few more minutes. I have Hannah joined us because she's going to help me get you guys into your breakout groups. So I'm going to give you your assignment. Let me share my screen so I can show you. So this assignment is going to be in groups, and I'm going to tell you what groups you're in. Okay, and the project is to take the statutes. Okay, so the statutes are on the resources page of the website. We have them in Spanish, estatutos, and then you have the statutes of Regnum Christi. They're more expanded than the Regnum Christi identity document that you got yesterday. They're a little more technical language, because the statutes are what, when you say to the church, will you approve us as a spirituality, as a charism in the church? They ask you, the Holy See, Rome asks you to write everything down so that they see very clearly what and who you are and how you're going to serve the church. So that's what the statutes are, okay? And those were approved a year ago, actually. They took a lot of work, a lot of Regnum Christi members, priests, consecrated lay people, and they came up with the statutes. So I'm going to give there'll be 4 groups. I'm going to give each of the groups certain numbers of the statutes. So your project is to read those as a group and to create a 2 to 5 minute video. It can be any type of video. It can be a PowerPoint video with pictures. It can be videos of you speaking. It can be whatever you want. You can be creative. That's Regnum Christi. Be creative. And you have to somehow express those numbers. But you're expressing it to high school girls. Okay, so to ECYD team leaders. So that's your audience. So it can't just be, you can't just read the numbers, right? Like, you need to express it, explain it, show it, give some visual. Maybe you do a skit, you dramatize it, whatever you want to do. Okay, and then if you can email it to me by Sunday night. All right, so it's Wednesday now, you have till Sunday. So what I recommend is, as a team, you read through the statutes. Maybe you want to share what they mean to you. You can brainstorm some ideas of how you make the video, and then obviously choose one of those and go with it. See how it works, how it comes out. Okay. So I know it's a little bit of a challenge because we're all, we're not in the same place. Just the Manila girls are in the same place, but I think you can do this, and I think it's using all these principles we just talked about, like the creativity, the teamwork, the leadership, letting other people do, also being active and doing it. So I think we can manage. So here are our groups. Okay. So team 1. The ones that are going to Le Châtelard, I don't know if I spelled that right. I'm sorry if I didn't spell it right. But the ones that are going to Switzerland and the ones that are going to Houston. Okay, so you guys are one team. So you're going to need to coordinate when you're going to meet and how you'll do it. Second team are the ones going to Europe, that'll go to Italy and to Spain. Okay, combined with the 2 that are going to DC. So that's your group. The ones who are going to Manila, it's just the 2 that are in Manila are going to do that because they'll have a hard time coordinating with everyone's schedule. So they prefer just to do their own video, which is fine because I think it's going to be too hard. And they're in the middle of the Eastwady camp that they're running online. And then last team, the ones going to Overbrook and the Cincinnati missionaries. Okay. So to make this a little easier, I thought right now we'll just break into those groups so that you know who's in your group, and then maybe you can coordinate how you're going to interact, how you're going to brainstorm, how you're going to maybe you won't know right now, right, how you're going to make your video, but at least what's the plan between now and Sunday to have a video done. And then so you'll email me the video, or you can WhatsApp it to me, and then we'll share it amongst ourselves. Okay, so actually, you can even, instead of emailing me, why don't you put it in the WhatsApp group? That would be fun. We can watch them. You might be able to use them during the year even to be able to show it to the girls you're working with. So that's why I got Hannah. She's going to put you into the breakout groups so that you see who's in your group as we're still getting to know where everyone's going and that kind of thing. So you see who's in your group, get your contact information from each other, or it's in the WhatsApp group, and then go for it. Okay, any questions about this? I have put this on the website, so you have the instructions, okay? Any questions about this project for now, and then we will finish for the day and break you up into groups. Sound good? You're up for the challenge? I think it'll be fun, and I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Feel free to email me, to text me if you have, any questions, if your team gets stuck or needs some help or something. Okay. Okay, so we will finish here. So tomorrow night you have your session. So you have 1 hour with Gudelia and with Manila. You'll join them, and then afterwards we'll break into small groups. Now, the Mexicans, I don't know if that's when you're meeting every week, but that's the time we're meeting is on Thursday nights. But if you have another day you're meeting.
The day that we're meeting with Debbie and only us. Oh, it's on Friday.
Okay, it's on Friday. Okay.
So tomorrow we only have from, what time is it? 7?
So 7:30 Eastern, New York time, 7:30 to 8:30. And then, yeah, you guys can leave, and the ones that are in the North American territory will have their small group time, like normal.
Right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa, so we should start reading first, like the ones, los que nos tocan, right?
Yes, I mean, we'll break into groups now, and you can just coordinate when you're going to meet again. Maybe you don't have to do it right now because I know, but look at your schedules and see what you can do. But yeah, you probably want to read it and then see what people think. And oh, sure, Hannah. I need to make her the host so she can organize you guys. Sorry, I should have done it earlier. Okay, Hannah, you're in control. Just give it back to me so I can finish. Actually, let me see if I can still do it. So I can stop the live streaming. Okay, so Hannah's gonna put you into groups. Any other questions? If you're in the wrong group, just let us know. But I think so if we look at the groups, so Le Chatelet in Houston, that'll be Isa, Grace, Regina, Paula, Montserrat, and Ana Cris, right? I don't know if Paula's here right now, but because she was having a lot of trouble with the internet. Okay, and then team 2 is the rest of Europe. So Sarah, Viviana, Sofia, Adriana, with, did I say DC? With Maria and Elizabeth. And then the last group will be Jeannie, Isabel, and Lisa, Ceci, Jimena, Paloma, and Ana Paula. Sound good? All right.
So I'm creating your groups now, guys.
We don't see you. We want to see you, Hannah.
Hi, I'm a mess.
So Hannah was a missionary last year in Houston, for the ones that don't know.
Got these nice sweatshirts that just came in today.
Oh, awesome. I want to see those.
Excited to get them. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Sorry, doing breakout rooms, it's so weird. It really is. Here we go. Okay.
So, and then just a little reminder for everyone to talent show this Sunday night. You guys are all getting your talents ready.
I have a question about that.
Okay. Hannah might be able to answer.
They gave us teams, like, I don't know, the Le Chatelet girls, the Overbrook girls, the Europe girls, and like that. Like, they divide us. But, like, can we do a video with, I don't know, another group, like another team?
Yes. So
okay.
The teams are just for your points, like the competition. But like, if you guys want to split up into different teams or anything like that, like, feel free. It's all good.
As long as everyone does something, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can do individual. I don't know if you're really awesome at piano or something. You can.
Can we participate in different, like in more than one video?
Sure. Yeah, fun.
Okay, I think about it. The rooms are open.
Okay, awesome. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have fun.
Okay, she's in. Maria is assigned, which is good.
Yeah, she just hasn't. He's like stuck in like limbo. Awesome.
Do you
Okay.
want to make you the host again?
Well, do you have power to stop the YouTube? Does it give you the option? It should be in the top left corner. Okay, so probably not. So I guess if you just send it back to me, the host, and I'll
yeah. But
that's funny how that works. It doesn't work. Still trying to figure it out, but it seems to be working. Like actually going to YouTube, so that's cool. Great. Let me